I'm finally spilling the tea about why we're trying to move to a new council house. Now, if you're easily offended, just a heads up, my husband and I use wildly inappropriate humour as a way of dealing with crappy situations. It's how we cope. So if I make jokes about things that are actually quite tragic, just know I'm not being cruel. I'm just trying not to spiral into a Kardashian ugly crying montage. So grab yourself a cuppa because it's council house gossip time. So why are we moving? In short, medical reasons. In long, my husband has MS and a chronic back injury. So his body's basically thrown in the towel and said, I'm out. If he were a horse, someone would have taken him to a field by now and whispered, good night, my sweet prince, and then taken him to the glue factory. But this is the UK and apparently that's frowned upon with people. MS is honestly the worst. It's like playing medical ruler every day. One day he's fine-ish, or as good as he can be. The next he's like a human jellyfish, with the memory of Dory, and legs that like to quit mid-staircase. I'm not even joking. He falls down the stairs so often, a housing team have literally installed a reinforced wall at the bottom. He now bounces. It's like living with a human pinball machine. And where we live now, we've got no friends, no family, no support. When I had my youngest, I went into labour and ended up with an emergency C-section. I did the whole recovery and baby thing completely on my own. I literally rocked him at home and handed my husband a newborn like some 1920s housewife. Now my street and neighbours are actually lovely, but the surrounding area, it's grim. We've literally had people digging for our bins at 3am like urban raccoons, and nicking our recycling bin like it's currency. But for us, it was definitely the moment our neighbour had bricks thrown through their window that we knew this wasn't a place we wanted to bring our kids up. And this is just a small snippet of the issues. And now, just to spice things up, my husband's about to start new medication with common side effects that include hallucinations and impulse control issues, such as spontaneously falling asleep without warning. A great combo when you've got 4 small children and only one functioning adult. That's literally clinging on by the skin of a dry shampoo. So back at the beginning of December, we applied for a medical move with the council, which meant gathering letters from every professional we've ever met. GP, OT, specialists. We basically needed a scroll signed by the king himself just to apply for a house that doesn't double as a death trap. And eventually in April, we finally got accepted onto the housing list. But plot twist, we can only bid on houses that meet very specific criteria set by Adam's OT, which is fair enough. But basically every week I've been sat there refreshing the council website like I'm trying to get Taylor Swift tickets. But this week finally a suitable house came up that actually meets his medical needs. So I spent the last 7 days precariously stalking the property and surrounding area in a wild attempt to manifest it into being ours. Honestly, for the next 2 weeks you can expect me to be sat in a corner, rocking back and forth, clutching my phone, praying for it to ring. Now am I bothered about all the time and effort I've put into this house? Absolutely not. Thanks to this house, I've learnt a shit ton of skills I never had before. And honestly, I'd sell my left kidney and part of my spleen to be able to move back home and be near my grandparents. I'm not ashamed to admit it. My nana's my best friend, and my grandparents are my absolute rock in life, and I'd be lost without them. So it's entirely worth it. At least my dining table gets to move with me. Now the infamous third bedroom, or as I lovingly call it, the cupboard above the stairs. It's so small you physically can't fit 2 children in there at the same time. So yeah, it has factored into the move, but to be fair, if we were actually happy here, our housing officer has said they'd move us to a bigger 3-bedroom property. We did consider moving internal walls around just so we could extend the third bedroom, like budget DIY SOS, just with more swearing. But in the end, my husband's medical stuff was just the priority. For example, if my husband falls and I'm not around, that man is living wherever he lands. Hallway, driveway, next door shed, maybe even the laundry basket if it's soft enough. Whereas in Lincolnshire, my husband would have access to a specialist MS centre, which is a massive deal, meaning he'll have access to proper therapy and real support, and maybe even the chance to feel like he's not just winging it at life. So yeah, that's the tea on the big council house move. So if you've made it this far, congrats on surviving my waffling, and give us a like and follow, because with any luck, I'll be decorating a whole new house soon. But until then, the chaotic DIY content will still continue. Well, as soon as I locate my willpower under the washing.